All the latest news and the people making it. Montreal Now with Aaron and Natasha. CJAD 800.
Welcome back. David Hertel with you. Well, NDG Residents are launching a class action over this summer's floods. Remember in July, there were some torrential rains, and that generated a lot of flooding in certain areas of the Côte-des-Neiges NDG borough, and now residents are taking the city to court. To tell us more, I am joined by the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit, Ilana Grostern. Hi, Ilana.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I'm joined by Charles O Brien, managing partner at O Brien and
O'Brien.
Just O'Brien. So just O'Brien, and O'Brien. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll call it that, sure.
All right, Charles O'Brien, you are the lawyer that's representing the residents in this class action lawsuit, correct?
That's right.
All right. So first of all, we'll start with you, Ilana. Tell me, what is the situation? What happened this summer?
Okay, so this summer was simply another pretty serious flood in a long historical situation of flooding. It was particular conditions that led to a large influx of rainwater in a short period of time, and due to the nature of the infrastructure here, which has been inadequate since its construction in the 1920s, what ended up happening was the storm sewer couldn't handle the volume of water, and about 700 homes in this area got flooded, mostly through the drain system and some groundwater.
So how did you get to the point where you felt it was time to take the city to court?
Okay, so when we got flooded in our basement, we went out on the street and saw that there were so many residents had suddenly emerged from their basements and were bailing out their homes. And then we did a tour of the area to understand the magnitude of it. At which point, because it was so systemic and so many people were affected, it couldn't be simply an issue of homeowners not having adequate protection in their basement from sewer backflows. It had to be something bigger than that. And it didn't take us too long first of all, I reached out to Charles pretty immediately because I had done a little bit of research about flooding in the area. But when we did a bit of digging, we discovered that there's newspaper articles dating back to the 1920s indicating the magnitude of the problem in this area and the city's awareness of it. So not too hard to put two and two together to understand that it was a situation of, pretty much willful neglect at this point because the city is very much aware. And when we took it to the politicians, there was a lot of gaslighting that happened pretty quickly. So we decided, you know what, forget that. We're not going to go the standard political route because they have no interest in working with the citizens to fix the problem. They would rather just blame us. So we're going to go to a bigger authority, which is court.
So, Charles, first of all, where are you in the process? Have you filed to be recognized as a class, or have you gotten that recognition yet?
No. So the first stage is seeking authorization, which we've done, and will be heard probably within a year to decide whether or not the case can proceed, and then the second stage after that, which is the merits of the case. Okay.
So you're at the very beginning, the early stages of this class action lawsuit. And so, Charles, tell me, what is the basis? Because, again, and I don't want to get too technical, obviously, but the thing is that we usually, and generally speaking, we think that a city, a government, is relatively immune from this type of lawsuit. So what's the line, and what do you have here that shows that it's been crossed?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, it's a negligence issue because, as Ilana pointed out, the city is well aware of the cause of the problem, and rather than deal with it, they've blamed the victims in a variety of different ways, trying to get them to do work or blaming nature or whatever else. But the most important thing in these kinds of cases is an injunction, is to make the city do the work.
Right.
And it will be expensive, but it's going to have to be done. So either you shame them into it or you get a judge to order it. Because the minor benefit of getting a few $1,000s a decade later is nothing for the victims. They want to have the problem solved so that it stops from happening again every 2 or 3 years, which it will.
And so what do you have in terms of evidence or anything that points to the neglect from the city? Why is it so clear here, in your opinion, that there was neglect by the city?
Well, it's largely the age of the infrastructure. Also, there are issues with maintenance, cleaning of sludge. But the real problem is that it's very old. So you've got primary infrastructure, which is the city's responsibility, and secondary, which is the borough's responsibility. And rather than fix it, they simply blame the victims. And in particular, in this case, it was obvious that there was a problem because once a certain switch was thrown, the water just disappeared. So obviously there was a blockage at a particular location, which could have been resolved earlier or should never have happened.
Wow. Ilana, who did you speak with at the borough to try to get some answers before you contacted Charles?
We spoke with the mayor herself. I don't think I spoke with her directly, but we definitely, Despina Surius was quite sympathetic and the most helpful of all the politicians in the area, but any communications with the mayor have proved entirely useless and actually quite demeaning.
Really? How so? Tell me what she told you.
Basically, the party line is that if we, and the city of Montreal has also posted this now on their site in terms of anybody trying to claim from flooding, that if the party line is if you don't have a backflow valve, then the flooding was your fault.
So, and so, Charles, what would be the answer to that?
Well, it's not difficult. The Supreme Court actually addressed this issue in two different cases, and it's held that that's not a duty on the individual residents to put any equipment on their system. The city has to provide a functioning system. In any event, the flooding that occurred in this case would not have been resolved by backflow preventers, and people that have them have had the same problem or worse.
Yeah. And I'll just add that the city, the NDG officials do not like when we point to actual evidence. They prefer to cherry pick their facts and create a story wherein the inspectors that they imposed on us have determined that most of us weren't adequately protected, and if we had all been protected, we wouldn't have this problem. And yet there are many people in the area, including plumbers, who were protected up the wazoo and still got flooded. So it's just, we've made this joke over and over again, but the city's argument holds no water in this case. Oh,
very good. Well done. Well played, Ilana. Just on that, I would give you the judgment right away.
Thank you.
So a lot. How many people are we thinking about in terms of plaintiffs?
We're estimating that there's about 1,000 people affected by the flooding of July 13th, and then there was, I actually don't even have the numbers for, a lot of us got flooded again on December 18th.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
There was more of this happening. In my case, it didn't come up. It was a groundwater situation.
So they're not even fixing it since?
No, all they've done is spent a lot of time, and we've documented this because the neighbors have all banded together to be the eyes. We have the whole record of all the sewer cleaning they've been doing. The city claims that they inspected all the sewers after July 13th, and in October they had a meeting that they were supposed to present their findings, but nobody can actually get their hands on this report, even when we ask directly. They send reports from 2016 and 2019, but nothing that proves that the sewers were functioning afterwards. So I can't remember what the original question was.
No, it's okay. You've answered it. Don't worry about it.
I just lost my train of thought there.
No, it's okay. It's fine. You're doing fine. Charles, just want to know. So hopefully you're going to get authorization to file for the class. So then you'll be able to file the injunction. Is that the?
No, I can bring the injunction prior to the authorization.
I
that
see.
would be unusual.
Okay.
We have to look into that. But the thing that is most important for people to know if they suffer flooding in the future is that they have to send a notice to the city within 15 days of the flooding. And failure to do that in previous lawsuits has been a real problem. Ilana did such a great job of mobilizing people and having them send notices that in her case, I think it's going to go very well. But the notice provision is very important.
Yeah, the 15 days. It's very special, and only the cities have that. Exactly. Absolutely. No, you're totally right to point that out. Ilana, I want to wish you all the best in the new year, and I hope there's going to be a good resolution to all of this as soon as possible, and I thank you for coming on. And Charles, all the best as well.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ilana Grostern, NDG resident and lead plaintiff in this case, and Charles O Brien, managing partner at O Brien, who is representing the plaintiffs in this class action.